Hello, hello, and welcome back to What We Pod in the Shadows, where we are currently discussing Season 2 of What We Do in the Shadows. I'm Raven.
And I'm Alison.
This week's episode we're going to be discussing is The Return. Before we get into that, though, if you haven't already, it would be super cool if you could follow or subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review or a comment, depending on what platform you're listening on. It would really help get us out there to more folks. The more listens and downloads we get, the better for the pod.
It will get us pushed out to more people, hopefully, and we would definitely like to share some of your reviews on the pod. And check us out on our other podcast, Mojo Jojo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, you can hear us on there discussing episodes of the Powerpuff Girls and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
So I was just going to say that with the title, because I try not to look ahead. Yes, we have watched the show before, but in my head, the timeline is murky.
Yeah.
So I was thinking it was going to be the Baron coming back, because I don't really feel like it's a spoiler. We saw his eyes open when they were burying him, so I don't think he's dead, but that is not who returns.
No.
Nadja and Laszlo are walking home from the movies, the talkies, as they call them. They had to plug their ears because the music and sound was too loud. They stop when they hear a whisper from the sewers saying Laszlo's name. It asks them to come into the sewers, which Laszlo at first refuses, but Nadja says they've been invited. When they get down there, someone is crawling around. Then they come to Simon the Devious playing a piano, and then over to Colin back at home. Colin has found that commenting with crappy takes on social media posts can get him energy. So he has several laptops and accounts going. So one of his hot takes is, Jesus actually hates horses.
Yeah, that's why I heard that too.
He knows he's got them when they call him dumbass.
So Simon is playing on his piano, and he reveals that he only has two members left of his crew, Count Rapula and Carol. And Carol is a very strange-looking vampire with these giant white eyes and porcupine-like quills coming out of her head. Simon is like, "Are you aware that my nightclub exploded?" And Lasso and Nadja lie and say they aren't. Simon survived by using what little strength he had to crawl into the sewers where he met Carol, and he psychically messaged, but actually emailed Count Rapula to come find him.
But how was he able to email him?
I don't know. Nadja invites Simon to their home, but doesn't think he'll take her up on it. But when they get home, Simon and Co. are already there. Carol really wants to eat Guillermo.
I was just going to say, to me, she looked like one of them deep underwater fish.
Yeah.
With the irregular sharp teeth and the huge, they were milky water, or milky white eyes. And the poor Rapula guy, every time he would rap, they were always like, "Oh, just shut up." I was maybe it was maybe not in the greatest time to come out with a rap, but in trying to find Simon a place to sleep, they stumble across Elvis working on a song, who Laszlo says he turned into a vampire in the 70s. So I don't know. Apparently there are extra bedrooms, and for some reason Guillermo still has to sleep under the stairs. Every time they mention these other rooms in the house, I'm like, what?
No, they just do everything in their power to shit on poor Guillermo and just offer him the least that they absolutely can.
Simon says he can sleep anywhere. Nadja feels partially responsible for Simon's fragile state because of the stupid cursed witch's skin hat and is glad it is gone, but Laszlo has possession of it. There is a troll after Colin, who is reporting his accounts and getting him suspended. Colin gets worked up about a post and fires back, calling the troll a dumbass. So, as he previously said, that's, you got him if they call you a dumbass. So, yeah. He's so worked up, he's calling this guy a dumbass.
Laszlo tries to catch Simon stealing his cursed witch's skin hat, but when pressed, Simon reveals that he made a bat sculpture out of trash as a thank you gift for letting him and his crew stay with them. Nadja says it's pathetic and truly lovely. Laszlo reluctantly apologizes. Guillermo is wandering around the house by himself, wanting to have some peace and quiet when he's confronted by Carol, who insists she knows he's a vampire slayer. Guillermo tries to deny it, but she insists she smells death on him. She pushes him down the stairs. Colin hears the commotion, but is too busy arguing on the internet. Guillermo picks up a broom to defend himself, which Carol snaps in half. He accidentally shanks her with both pointy ends of the broken broom, and she turns into a giant pile of dust. Guillermo's horrified and thinks something bad is going to happen to him when Nandor taps him on the shoulder. Guillermo tries to lie, say that the pile of dust is because the vacuum cleaner broke, but Nandor realizes that he killed Carol. He tells Guillermo to keep it a secret because it will reflect badly on him, and also Guillermo would be killed. Colin hacked the troll's email and tracked him to Pennsylvania.
Not Transylvania. Did you say Transylvania or Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. So, like, with the Carol's ashes, like, why the hell is her name Carol?
I don't know. It seems too normal a name.
Nandor tells him to clean up the ashes, and Guillermo, like, just almost like against his own will, points the pieces of the broom handle at Nandor's chest, and then Nandor looks at him in distrust. You said to Pennsylvania. I have Massachusetts.
Okay, I swear I heard him say Pennsylvania.
So he takes an Uber or a taxi to Massachusetts, all the while almost boring the driver to sleep. Like they almost wreck. Simon calls a house meeting to thank them for their hospitality and reveals Carol is missing. Then Simon demands to know where the hat is. So, of course, it's back to the stupid hat. Laszlo reappears with it quickly and says Simon took the hat, that it wasn't gifted to Simon, like previously. Like, Simon wants it back, but it's like it wasn't given to him. He grabs the hat and tries to run out, but runs straight into a door. Then Laszlo shoots an arrow at him, and he catches it, but it goes through his hand. Laszlo takes the hat and stands in the middle of the road and gets hit over and over. Simon grabs the hat and turns into a bat. Laszlo does the same, and they go into the sewer.
Colin tracks the troll to an internet cafe in Massachusetts. Okay, maybe he, found something.
There might have been two different things, but...
Yeah. Colin realizes that this is stupid and has gone too far when the internet troll texts him and calls him to an alleyway, and Colin still goes after him. In the alleyway, Colin discovers that the internet troll, is a real-life naked troll. Nadja uses echolocation in the sewers to search for Laszlo. Colin and the troll confront each other. The troll doesn't like the term trolling and thinks Colin is being defensive. They argue over the meaning of trolling. Laszlo and Simon go between human and bat form, trying to snag the hat from one another. Nandor cheers Laszlo on despite not knowing which bat is which.
Laszlo says Simon is outnumbered when a bunch of bats fly in and his old crew turns into human form. Nadja calls him a liar, and it's revealed Elvis has joined Simon's crew. Colin is explaining various bridges to the troll, who can barely stay awake. Simon says he wants what Laszlo has. He says he is never satisfied. Simon starts sinking through the grate he is standing on. Laszlo says he can keep the hat. His crew is upset. He said they weren't enough for him. Guillermo asks if Simon will drown, and Nandor asks why he is interested in how vampires die. So this is like calling back to earlier when he almost got him, staked him. Colin apologizes to the troll and then points out the sun is coming up. The troll turns to stone, but when Colin puts his hands up in victory, the troll manages to grab them before freezing completely. And then, oh no, I guess I didn't say they just left Simon?
Yeah, they just all ditched him there.
And Laszlo had told Guillermo to stay and grab the hat when it pops up, too. I don't know if I explained that very well at the end, but... So I'm thinking him sinking through the grate was just like the hat doing its thing. Like it's...
Yeah.
It's bad luck thing.
Yeah, I think it was like that when he turned back from a bat into his regular vampire form, it fused his foot to the grate.
Oh, okay, yes. I don't know, I guess I don't get the appeal of the hat, so I'm just I kind of understand Simon, because he said he wanted what Laszlo has, and I think part of it is that it's Nadja, being married, having a partner, I think, too.
Yeah.
But he can't take Nadja, so he wants the hat, maybe? But I don't get the appeal of the hat. It's gross. It's not really attractive, and it just looks like it's I know it's skin, but it looks thick and heavy. Like, it looks like it would be hot. I don't know. I don't get the appeal.
I really think maybe it's like part of the curse of the hat is that you want it, even though it causes you bad luck. That's like the only thing that makes sense to me.
Guess, but it's just really those two that want it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like his crew is trying to take it from him, or like, Colin Robinson or something is like trying to wear it around. So I don't know. I'm not totally sure why they trusted him and stuff.
Yeah, he's literally called Simon Deviant.
I guess they are trusting and nice and stuff in a way to certain people. Maybe it's just kind of like their history together.
Yeah. Or at least, like, just to other vampires. Then they're like, we've got to be as polite as possible.
I don't know if we ever see Elvis again. It's just like he shows up just in this episode, and then it's like, now he's part of their crew.
Yeah.
I don't know. Laszlo's always like, oh, I invented this thing, or, I knew such and such back in the day. And it's like, well, I suppose.
I'm not sure, like, how long Lonzo's been a vampire exactly, but at least, like, knowing certain famous people or whatever, like, it makes sense if you've been around for however many hundreds of years.
I mean, we see that a recent episode that we watched, that him and Nadja play and write music, but it's so bad. So I'm just like, I don't really see them having gotten anywhere close to Elvis, but. And then, of course, we have the other storyline with Colin. I did think it was funny, like, maybe it's his days off, like, he needs to feed. So, I mean, it's kind of an innocent way to do it, because, I mean, obviously, you don't have to comment on social media posts. So, I mean, these are people who are willing participants in a way. And I don't know, he's feeding on the energy, I guess, but like, I don't know if it's really like totally doing that. I don't know how he can do that from afar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it seems, well, I think he did say something about that. It's not quite the same as being in person.
Yeah, I think that's why he has so many different, like, devices that he's doing it on at once.
But I do like the idea of that in a way that it's like, I think trolls are kind of like that though. Like they don't care, like they want you to get mad and
yeah,
they want to get your goat. But I did like the idea of him having like, different phones and laptops and tablets and stuff where he was kind of doing that in order to feed.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny and clever.
They did blur out the trolls. Weenie. So they do, they have introduced some different things. We've seen werewolves and
necromancers and zombies.
We've had obviously, like the witch's hat. There's witches. Forget what that one thing was that came to one of their parties.
Oh, the Babadook.
Yeah. So I do like they're introducing some of these things. So the next episode we will be discussing is episode 8, Collaboration. If you want to watch that before the next episode comes out.
If you don't want to be spoiled, you might want to watch that episode ahead of time. Thank you so much for listening. And just again, if you could subscribe or follow the podcast and leave us a comment or review or what have you, that would be super appreciated. So until next time, remember, you're dead and out of this world. Goodbye.
Goodbye.